So the whole how the market will play out thing is what everybody has been asking and everybody wants to find out. And I've been thinking about this for the last 2 days that I haven't been doing any content. The more and more I think about it, the more it just seems like the Fed is in a rock in a hard place. And I want to talk about why. The thing that bothers me the most, lack of liquidity from retail, right? It's not personally like the institutions this time. We know the institutions have interest. We know the institutions are playing it dirty, right? Because what they're doing is they're utilizing these market makers to push the price down to be able to buy at better prices. I don't know. Y'all gotta let me know if you've been in prior cycles. This has to be one of the craziest cycles that anybody that's been in crypto has ever been in. You've been in multiple cycles. Let me know if this has been the most craziest, insane cycle that you have ever seen. My name is Crypto Middle. You probably know I got into crypto around 2017. I started making content in crypto around 2021, right? Like 2021. When I say 2017, I really didn't know anything about crypto. I bought Litecoin thinking it was the Kobe Bryant to the Michael Jordan, Patrick Mahomes to the Tom Brady. Coin could be the future of Bitcoin, the future Bitcoin, right? I really thought that, right? And then I got locked out of my Coinbase account. The thing that I am seeing the most is that institutions clearly have interest in crypto. You can go look at the ETF flows. You can look at all the institutions that's been buying. You can even kind of look at some of the whales that's utilizing other businesses. Let's say these crypto ETF companies. Like, we know institutions are interested in crypto, but everybody wants to know, like, Millie, why isn't my altcoins pumping? First and foremost, Bitcoin went from 15K to 125K, right? So let's get that out there, right? We need to understand that Bitcoin has had a bull cycle. We need to understand that Ethereum, even though it may not have hit all-time highs, still went from $800 to about $4,800. And that's a pretty nice move for coins that's sitting well over $1 billion. It really comes down to when you got into crypto and when you bought your cryptocurrency. Because I think when you bought your cryptocurrency will determine your next move with the cryptocurrency market. For example, I bought cryptocurrency in the bear market. So for me, taking profits and consolidating portfolio makes the most sense because there is more risk to reward based off the gains that I made this cycle. If you just bought when Trump got back into president, then you probably are in an L or you're broken even. So you have less risk there, right? You can afford to put more money into cryptocurrency, anticipating the reward. And if you have not bought cryptocurrency and you're just on the sidelines, well, I'm going to talk about that. So make sure that you stick around. The thing about it is we need to understand that there's a lack of liquidity. There's too many coins fighting for the same amount of liquidity. If you want further proof of this, just go to the trenches and you'll see the same wallets copy trading, the same KOLs buying, the same coins. It's the same shit, right? It's basically a wish-wash of money. The market is looking like, are we going to head into QE or per se NQT? And is the Fed going to cut or is the Fed going to pause? So it all comes down to liquidity. The problem is, no matter which way the Fed tends to lean, there will be a lack of liquidity because retail is hurting right now. The reason I think that there's going to be further downside is because Trump came out himself and said, hey, yes, I'm going to do the stimulus, but don't expect the stimulus to come till next year around 2026, which aligns with the removal of Jerome Powell and the replacement. So when people say, well, I think that this market is going to be extended, well, I think that this is what does it say, 4-year cycle, when I think that it's a 5-year cycle, this is what they're talking about. They're talking about the risk of selling your crypto now, right before the fun happens. So think about this. If you sell your crypto now, nothing wrong with that, right? The market may crash. You may be able to get back in before QE. But like, there is no guarantee. What investors are doing, smart investors, are they're casually DCAing, anticipating the Fed's going to change, right? The Fed is going to change their policy and move into an environment that's QE. But just because QT ends doesn't mean QE is going to begin. So we definitely have to understand that. We have to understand that. We also need to identify the grace period between QT and QE, right? There's a grace period because most of my indicators are telling me that there's a weakness with Bitcoin. There's a weakness in crypto if you look at the total cryptocurrency market cap. But also, the TVL is now declining, right? And until I start to see the TVL go up, that right there is telling me that people are starting to move their money out of DeFi and into either cash or stable coins. Whales are now preparing that we go lower. As far as the bear market, 250-week moving averages closes historically is the bear market, right? Breaking the 200-day, the 200 weekly, which is like, that's neither here nor there. We're far away from the 200 weekly. The 200-day and the 50-day bear cross, that doesn't really affect it, right? I like to look at weekly charts here, but I'm saying that to say this. Whenever you see a key moving average broken, there's normally a retest. And this is when it's going to get interesting, in my opinion, for the market. When we go for that retest, are we going to accumulate diamond hand people that are going to hold, or we can turn the 50 weekly into support, right? Because right now we broke it. If we close this week under it, it will then be resistance. And then we'll have to think about what happens next week. So will we go for the retest? Most likely. Moving averages normally do get retested. Will we break it? That just determines on the liquidity, the volume, and the sentiment. Will people look at crypto as an opportunity and say, hey, I can still make money for this? Or will people look at crypto as a cash incinerator, which means like I'm putting my money in this, Millie, but I'm not making any money? There's a lot of people that made money this cycle. There's a lot of people that didn't make money this cycle. There's a lot of people that just broke even this cycle. But the point is, there's always opportunity in crypto. Selling your crypto right now, believe it or not, is a risk, especially until we actually close on Sunday and officially close our first week under the 50 week. Well, I guess you could say last week was. So this Sunday, if we close under the 50 week, it's gonna be tough, guys. I'm not even gonna cap to you. I'm not about to like give you no hopium. What I'm telling you is it's gonna be freaking tough. Anyway, if I think about something else, I'll let you know. I kind of like put these clips together. Let me know what you think about the economy. It's your boy Crypto Millie. I'll see you the next one.